Adin Ross is a scumbag.
There was no complaints from them, but Adin, in under the guise of taking up for her team, called her all types of bitch and industry plan and called her entitled and an unintelligent piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? So this was back in May. So this has been building. And it's just been nasty for some time. Now, Doechii dropped Girl Get Up. And she addressed being called an industry plant with the lyric. She says, all that industry plant shit whack. I see it on the blogs. I see you in the chats. You suck every rap from the back. But what's the agenda when the it girl black? Y'all can't fathom that I worked this hard. And y'all can't fathom that I earned this chart. And y'all can't stand my vibe because I'm anointed. All y'all evil ass hoes just annoying. She didn't mention Adin by name. Seemed like a blanket statement to me. Like it did. Honestly, when I wasn't even thinking about him when I first heard it. We did that first video. I could have been oblivious. I didn't even think Adin Ross because you see the industry plant charges against Doechii all the time now. Right? But Adin took personal offense. She didn't mention his name, but he took personal offense. So this is what she said, kind of a blanket statement. And in response to that, he says, that dumb bitch, that fucking bodied fucking bitch, that fucking stupid smelly whore. We'll talk about Doechii later on, but that bitch, why is she even rapping about me?
What's up, words? Your boy Challz Brown back again, talking facts. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Keep sending those Cashapps to CLBMG. Join the membership, and all you buying that merch down below, gang. Listen, so I incorrectly made a video a few weeks ago about Adin Ross, and I was calling him Leave It to Beaver. I said he reminded me of Beaver Cleaver from the show, the hit show Leave It to Beaver from back in, I want to say, the 50s or 60s or whatever. I used to watch it in reruns. But what I'm starting to see now is, I think Adin Ross is more of a Scut Farkus. And Scut Farkus is a fictional character, but he is a well-known character nonetheless. He's in a movie called A Christmas Story. And he's a yellow-eyed bully with this big furry raccoon hat. And he terrorizes the kids. He puts their arms behind their back. And he just all around chases them all over the town. And he has a little minion with him that acts tough just like him. But one day, Ralphie, who is the protagonist in the story, he gets fed up. Scut Farkus pushes it too far. He gets fed up. Ralphie gets on top of him, starts beating the living piss out of him, right? He starts punching him so bad, and the kid starts crying to stop, and this, that, and the third. And Ralphie is just screaming profanities, and he's going insane, and he beats this guy so bad, this guy runs off, he scurries off, and he never bothers, I'm assuming, Ralphie again, right? I think that Adin Ross is a fake bully. I think that he's a fake tough guy, and I think that we have enabled Adin Ross to feel like he can be the Scut Farkus of the Scut Farkus affair, right? I think that we've let this guy believe that he's bigger than he is, but it took us a long time to get here, and I want to have this discussion about Scut Farkus, aka Adin Ross, Doechii, and Glasses Malone. Salute to Glasses Malone, but we got here, gang, and I guess Whack 100's in it now, and a whole lot of other guys. We got here, gang. It's been a long way to get here, but long story short, let me just give you the beginning of it, and then I'm gonna get to where I'm going. But because I feel like a lot of people that watch my channel are like me in a way that they don't know a lot of these 25-year-old streamers, right? A lot of us just are learning about Adin Ross through antics like this. Some of the antics that he has pulled, we couldn't get. There's probably another 100,000 streamers that we have no idea who are huge in the streaming world, who are massive, but most of us of our ilk, we don't know who this guy is, right? Older people who got real jobs, got shit going on. So I want to talk about how we got here where this little white guy, 25-year-old, think he could talk about this black sister any kind of way. He called her a dirty piece of shit and all kind of things. She's a bitch. She's like this, that, and the third. She's entitled. And it's just a lot going on with Adin Ross. And how we got here where he can talk crazy about Doechii. It's a long story. I'm going to be here for a while, gang. Get you some tilapia, maybe some navy beans. My mom used to love her some navy beans for some reason. But get you something to eat, something to snack on, and we're going to be here for a while. I believe I'm going to be here for a while because this story is much more intricate than it seems. And I want to talk about the black people who enable Adin Ross to talk this way and why they do it. We got here. It's been a journey where we lost some stuff, gang. We can't even decide on if something is even racist anymore. I noticed that something was going on when guys started to pick and choose who could be disrespected as far as females, black women. If the female fit the profile, then all bets are off and they can talk crazy about the woman. It doesn't matter. So there is no more unity. There is no more defending black women. I say it on this channel all the time. I'm going to defend black women because my mom's black, my sister's black, my aunt's black. So it is what it is. I'm coming out, you know what I'm saying, guns blazing. I'm not going to ever get on here and disrespect, even when it's warranted, gang. I saw in my comments of my Nicki Minaj video, and I salute that queen that said it. She was right. She said, this ain't about staying out of black women's business. She said it's about calling out right and wrong. But at the end of the day, right, it's the certain things that they say, don't hit a woman and this, that, and the third. I'm not going to be doing that, right? So even if it's warranted, I'm going to do it with kid gloves because that's just who I am. Even if it's only about 2 black women that I have a problem with that I might say something crazy. Candace Owens, one of them, and Azalea Banks, the other, right? At the end of the day, other than that, man, I'm not going to be coming too crazy at these women. So, but some of these guys, they like equal opportunity employer, right? He'll punch you in your face just like you'll punch him. So end of the day, I look at it like this. We've hit a point where we are able to let a little white kid, a scut Farkas, he can come in, talk crazy, scare the hoes, right? Like they say, you're scaring the hoes, right? He can come in, scare the hoes, and these guys just stand back and say, well, which hoe is it? And apparently, some of you guys don't like no hoes. So it's like basically any of these women, hoes, whatever you want to call them, you're not defending any of them. And it's become okay. I've seen it. I've seen it become okay. I've seen it. I watched it with, not saying you got to defend Megan Thee Stallion or not saying you got to defend Nicki Minaj. You ain't got to defend Beyonce. You ain't got to defend nobody, but you should consider it, right? Like, okay, let's measure some of this. Nope, these guys talk crazy about it doesn't matter who you are, right? I remember back in the day, we had a rapper. Her name was Queen Latifah, right? We had Moni Love, we had MC Light, and I can't see nobody letting no male slide talking crazy about any of them queens. I'm just gonna be honest. I guarantee you talk crazy about Queen Latifah, you could be a half a sentence, you getting stomped out 30 dudes. But it's a different era, gang, and I'm gonna explain why we're here. What we're looking at is I grew up, right, in a different time. Right, my house, we would have had Stevie Wonder playing in the background, the OJs, all kind of stuff, different things, Bootsy Collins, and it just was a different era, and the men were strong, and I'm not going to say the women were not strong, but we protected them. Let's put it like that. And I know that I know that it's caveats and it's nuance to everything. But at the end of the day, we were raised, listen, don't put your hands on them. Do your best to protect them. And when they're wrong, try to correct them to a degree. But you don't got to be too disrespectful when you do it, okay? And that used to be what it used to be. You didn't come out crazy talking reckless about him and calling him this, that, and the third. And slowly but surely, that started to erode because I understand that everything has nuances, and some of these women will have different characteristics that will say, okay, I can't protect you, right? It is what it is. But for the most part, I don't know what Doechii has done to deserve to be called a dirty piece of shit. Okay? Let's just go. I'm going a long way around to get there. I don't know what Doechii has done besides be successful for this guy to be so mad. Right? So this guy, Adin Ross, he's so mad at this girl, he can't even think straight. Right? He came out with they got a diss record. Now he got a diss record, him, Tekashi 6ix9ine, and some guy named Cuffham, right? Now they got diss records, they dissing their option. I guess it's okay to get on a record with Adin Ross, who's dissing a black female, right? And it's just to the point where these guys are so lost where they'll get on this record because it's for clout. Right, we understand Tekashi 6ix9ine don't care about really too much of nothing. But you would think he would have some common sense to understand, okay, enough is enough. You want to be accepted in this black community. You want us to listen to your records and take you serious. You've been crying for months talking about the snitching allegations and this, that, and the third, that you want to be absolved of all this shit in our eyes. And then you come on the record with a guy dissing a black female. So at the end of the day, we're at a point where a white kid can actually diss this black female, call it whatever, because he can. Now, let me go backwards in time and let you understand. Because I know a lot, like I said, a lot of people that watch my program, they don't know who Adin Ross is. I told Wifey was like, what video are you doing today? I said, the one about Adin Ross and Doechii. She's like, who's Adin Ross? Right? Believe it or not, everybody isn't in this world with these streamers and gamers and this, that, and the third. Most people, especially older people, 40 plus, 30, 40 plus, they have no idea who this guy is, even though he's a multi-millionaire running with Drake all over the place. At the end of the day, you can put him, I can take him into Applebee's and only the kids gonna know who he is. Right? So we're talking about two different worlds, but let's talk about this world, how we got here, where this white kid can say these crazy things about this black woman, and people would sit back until Glasses Malone, salute the Glasses Malone, gets up and check him. Honestly, it should be 1,000 motherfuckers checking him. For it to be only one guy checking him is very, very suspect, and it's weird to me, but here we are, right? I've seen a bunch of YouTubers are starting to say, okay, enough is enough, but this guy been doing too much for a while. Let's talk about it. What you got to understand where Adin Ross comes from. When we were coming up, it wasn't no internet, there wasn't no streaming, this, that, and the third. As we got older, streaming came around, and the internet and YouTube, and these guys, and games, right? So where Adin Ross comes from, before streaming, let me just explain this to you. Before streaming, you had gamers, right? They weren't even streaming yet. They were just going on the game, playing Halo, this, that, and the third, right? All different colors, races, and elks, and walks of life, genders, and everything. Now, on those games, you get to have your headset, you're in your room or your basement, is full anonymity. So, what those gamer kids like to do is talk real crazy, whether they're trying to get you out your game or not, or they have they want to say these things for shock value, or they may really feel this way. But what these gamers do on these game sets before it was any streaming was talk crazy. And if I'm in my home and I see that it's a black guy online, oh boy, she's in the game chat room, message, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, he getting all kind of N-words. And if it's 2 white kids, he getting double the N-words. If it's 4 white kids, he might get, you know what I'm saying? God damn, he might never heard as many N-words in his life. Guess what? He had to get a tough skin or don't play the game. So now we sitting there listening to N-word this, N-word that. After a while, it rubs off. You just play the game. You call him stuff back. You go back and forth. You banter. You realize this is a part of gaming. I can't get on games like these moms. Some of these moms don't let the kid put the headset on. But if he does put the headset on, he gonna get caught a few things, and it is what it is. So in that world, saying these things to each other is the norm. Things that used to be or is offensive, after a while, you can't stop and slam your headset every time somebody calls your name. So these kids get desensitized to this, and it starts to become funny. Right? I'm just going to be honest. Some of these white kids will say it in the game because they can't say it around their mom, can't say it around their pops, they can't say it in school, but they can get on that headset and call you the N-word and everything else. Right? The F word, the G word, everything. They can call you anything, and all you're going to do is either laugh or you're going to call him the name back, and you're going to argue, and he's going to shoot you on the game, and they're going to keep it pushing. So at the end of the day, when you come from that world, it's not shocking anymore. So when they started streaming, guess what? They started to use those words while they're streaming. This is before it was regulated. This is before they started banning you, this, that, and third. They started to use those words. It's a wild, wild west out there. And the people that were more reckless with it, like an Adin Ross, got more followers because people are like, oh, I can't believe he said that. Black, white, and indifferent. But they're all kids, so everything is shocking and it's funny. So these guys' chat room, the live feed, the words that they're saying are almost worse than what he's saying. Well, they are worse. So you get all kinds of walks of life in there talking crazy in the chat. So this is his crowd. His crowd, you read that stuff, you're appalled, right? You got your hand over your mouth like, I can't believe these kids are saying this shit. But that's every day to these people, right? Leafy is the black, back in the day as we were getting older and we started to understand YouTube, we started to get the Leafy is here type of guys in the what's this guy? I can't remember the Asian guy. I can't remember his name, but a lot of these guys started to have these channels, and the channels were catering to gamers. So they would do these things, and they would talk while the game is being played, and they would do these commentaries, right? And what would happen is they would have these commentaries that's kind of bullying, right? They're kind of like they would talk trash about another person. So they started to get really, really. They would defile you. It would get to the point where people had to report these people, this, that, and the third, right? So what would happen is they would get banned for a little bit and they would come back even stronger because more people would want to see that kind of content. Right? So as a Rice Gum, that's what I was thinking about. Rice Gum and all these different people. So people would want to see this kind of content. And as YouTube started to grow, these guys started to get millions of dollars. And what they started to do was diss records and this, that, and the third. The YouTubers started to become the artists. Record labels started signing YouTubers because of their crowd and their ability to get eyeballs. What happened with that is a lot of rappers were seeing that the YouTubers are getting bags. So instead of being like shunning them, be like, you can't really rap, they'll be like, well, let me hear this record, right? So you started to get rappers, real up-and-coming rappers who A&R team or PR team or whatever would be like, you sure you don't want to go on one of these streams? Like, what's the stream? Rappers don't know what that shit is. Rappers didn't know, but rappers started to understand, okay, if I go on the stream with this guy, Adin Ross or somebody else, there's a bunch of them, gang. If I can get on one of these guys' streams, right? I can actually be seen by a different audience. This is why somebody who has no business on the stream with a 20-something-year-old person, somebody in their 30s and 40s going on the stream with a 20-something-year-old white kid. It makes no sense. Jack Doherty and these guys. It makes no sense, but it makes perfect sense if you're trying to get that bag. That's why a lot of these older guys are acting like YNs because that's who's streaming for the most part, right? You just saw that. We had a whole thing about Nas numbers, this, that, and the third, because yeah, older people love that Nas record, but they'll buy the physical or they'll hear it when somebody else hear it, give it to them, whatever. But old people aren't chasing down streaming. They're not chasing down artists on streaming. So they'll wait or not listen at all, right? Now, the people that streaming your shit 17 times in a row are younger kids. It's just a fact. So what rappers started doing is going on these streamers platforms to get that push, to get that bump. And what that means is now the streamer has power. Insert Adin Ross. The corny ass Scut Farkas, leaving the Beaver he wanna be, was leaving the Beaver until he got his power. Now he's Scut Farkas balling up his fists, telling people that they dumb and stupid, right? So now in walks Adin Ross. His power comes from the ability to get people in his chat, in his stream, people to watch him for hours. It's called content. So what Adin Ross is doing now, he's making content. And what we're seeing is two different worlds colliding because the rap world, these rappers don't stand for anything anymore. All they stand for is how can I get in front of more eyeballs and get more people to stream my music? They don't stand on anything. Like I said, if you were to disrespect Queen Latifah back in the day, you wouldn't have been able to show your face, right? What's that rapper, Snow, right? The white rapper Snow and Farmer, right? Or let's say Vanilla Ice came out, right? No matter how much money he was making, no matter how cool he was to the Ninja Turtles, all this cool stuff he was doing, if he comes out with a diss record for one of these queens, I don't think he would have made it. I don't think he would have made it, gang. I'm just gonna be honest. He wouldn't have died, but he really would have got a foot in his ass. And damn sure wouldn't have been a whole lot of black people around him co-signing him. Yo, that Moni Love diss is crazy, B. Yo, you got her ass. No, right now we got a lot of black people that are standing right beside this guy because for one, they want the clout, they want the stream, they want to be a part of this thing that he got going on. Right now, what you got to understand is these guys are overlooking a lot of really bad signs of Adin Ross. Adin Ross he walks a very thin line of racist and scumbag, and it's clear that he's pretty much both, but he tries to make it like, oh, it's just content. Even in the world of content, some of the stuff that you start to say and you say it over and over, the microaggressions and this, that, and the third that you got toward black people, the things you say, like when he told Glasses Malone, go take care of your baby kids. Those are things you say when you gotta, you for one, you are trolling, let's just be honest, but at the same time, you believe these things. So when we're looking at an Adin Ross running with Nick Fuentes and all this other shit he got going on, he always run into these tropes that are shocking to us, older people, but I told you, these kids been hearing this shit in the gaming world since they was fucking 4 years old. So it's not shocking to a 20-year-old to hear him call these people these names. Now, in regards to black women, these guys don't stand for nothing these days, gang. So we're looking at a generation, right? Let's be honest. After Dr. Dre beat up D Barnes, all bets were off. I'm gonna keep it a buck. right? After Dr. Dre beat up D Barnes and we swept that under the rug, we changed. We started changing, okay? And a lot of guys are like, well, that bitch deserved it. Did she really? I don't think she deserved that. I don't think it was cool at all. But we love Dr. Dre so much. We love the Chronic and this, that, and the third. Dre told you, listen, Dre told you a lot of, in no uncertain terms, he'll smack a bitch up. These the guys got a record saying they put a bitch in the trunk. They shot the bitch, put her in the trunk, and got another bitch. Right? So we gotta understand, NWA, their image was that, even though they weren't really none of that. Right? Only motherfucker was close to that was Eazy-E. Only the rest of them wasn't nothing like that. They was respectable men in the community, right? And for a time it was good. But we used to revere these guys so much. That whole Black Power, the fist in the air, once they pushed that out, let's be honest, that was pushed out, that positivity, KRS-One, Public Enemy, Poor Righteous Teachers, all that stuff like that. When it was cool to be black and you would wear dashikis and have an afro, this, that, and the third, and you was fighting against the power. Paris from the West Coast, from Oakland, and all these different people, Boots and all this shit, and Arrested Development. That socially conscious movement was getting too strong. And we were getting too smart, and we were starting to think a little bit too much how unfair this whole thing was. The housing crisis and the police harassment, stuff we never thought about. We were just like, it's just bad, but that's just how it is. We started to realize, no, it ain't fucking how it's supposed to be. It ain't how it is. This is how they're making it. This is when you're walking down the street and they just roll up on you, make you get on your hands and knees. Done this shit to me several times. Make you get down on your knees, search your pockets, search your hat, search everything, and you stay there till they tell you to move, until they say you could get up. And not a second before. Because if you get up before they tell you to get up, it's a different environment. Now, Glasses Malone come from that environment. Adin Ross don't. Adin Ross does things for content. He's a gamer. He's a streamer. They get paid to be disrespectful to people no matter who it is. Akademiks the same way. So that's why they say it's just content, bro, this, that, and the third. Now, we're looking at a guy from two different worlds attacking a chick that really is from... She's not from that world, and she has no desire to be in that world. She just makes her music. Now, what you may say, if you're like me or my wife, right, who doesn't understand, well, I know why, and I'm going to tell you why. But somebody who's walking in blind. Like, so what does Adin Ross got to do with Doechii? What's up his ass about Doechii? Okay? Why is he calling her dumb bitch and this, that, and the third? All these strange things that somebody should never be saying, whether they're black, white, or indifferent. Well, if you want, I could tell you. What's going on with Doechii, right? They've made a concerted effort. If you are against Kendrick, if you are fans of I'm going to bring his name up, gang, it's going to happen. Here it is. Drake, the bubble bath rapper. What happened with this battle was everything related to Kendrick, which is TDE, even though he ain't even on TDE no more. Any and everything related to Kendrick and the TDE record label became Public Enemy #1 during the course of this battle. When Doechii started to spring up, it wasn't really fast, but to some, she came out of nowhere, the record hit. Sometimes just a smash hit, gang. Things happen, right? But they're trying to make it like, yo, Doechii sprung up out of no fucking where, and she's an industry plant, right? So end of the day, they're looking at it like she's an industry plant, this, that, and the third. Now they've declared war on all things TDE, all things Kendrick. So her name started to get really dragged through the mud. And a lot of you black men at the same time were a part of that. Let's just keep it a buck. I know it hurts to hear the truth, but it is what it is. A lot of you guys put zero thought that this was a woman that didn't deserve none of this. No, you took sides because you like the bubble bath rapper, or you just, for whatever reason, don't like industry plants, or you just didn't like her. You didn't like her music. So a lot of you guys were attacking this girl, and a lot of you guys freely do this because you're from a different era where you can do such things, right? We really weren't openly attacking women back in my day. I'm just going to be honest, gang. It is what it is. I know it sounds holier than thou, but we really weren't like, yo, that bitch is a bitch, right? So we weren't really doing a lot of that. Now, at the end of the day, we were giving women a chance to make their name, and like we had Finesse and Quest, we had all these different people. Now the game changed for women when Lil Kim came in and Foxy Brown, because they carried themselves different. I'm going to keep it a buck, and men started to get a little critical. Okay, and that's fine. We were getting a little critical, saying this, that, and the third. But a lot of you guys had that Lil Kim poster on your wall. A lot of you guys were hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? So end of the day, guys got a little more critical of women rapper, or like they like to say, female rapper. I know some women ask me not to use that word. It's just a word, gang. I don't make these words up. They just happen to be what they are. So the end of the day, a lot of women rappers started to go that route of Little Kim, and they were open for criticism, and some people to this day blame the state of hip hop on what Little Kim and Foxy Brown and others did to the game, right? And now that's a whole nother conversation. But I don't believe that Doechii deserves the downright nasty and just unbelievably aggressive tone that she gets from these people. Now, I already told you that Adin Ross comes from a community where disrespect is allowed. Disrespect is encouraged. And what they do in that community, that gamer community, is try to be as disrespectful as possible. Now, when you add that into a guy that's trying to stay current, trying to stay relevant, he also got some really sketchy ways of being, and a lot of this stuff comes off as very borderline, if not outright racist. So guess what? A person that's allowed to do that and say these things, he's going to do that and say these things he's going to double time and triple time. Just like Akademiks. You got to think, when Akademiks does it, they come running, they come flocking to his page. He gets more views, he gets more clicks, and nothing never happens to him. There's no consequences for it. So at the end of the day, yes, why not do it? Right? Adin Ross and these guys, they look at everything as content. And if I can use this black chick and call her all kind of names, nothing's ever going to happen to me. So why not? So what we're seeing now is Scut Farkas being Scut Farkas. I think he's bullying this girl, and he comes out to her because, for one, you let it. Now, at the end of the day, what I was talking about when I said we wouldn't allow these black women or black female rappers or whatever you want to call them to be attacked in any kind of way back in the day, well, a lot of guys have been dumbed down because, for one, I said one thing I said, the rappers don't stand for nothing. And for two, these guys are chasing bags now. So now it's like, if you're chasing them back, it's okay to sit back and let the guy do whatever and say whatever and just make excuses. Because I see a lot of black guys making excuses for this guy. Okay? A lot of black guys, for one, agree with him because they don't like Drake. I mean, they don't like Kendrick and they like Drake. So a lot of these guys want to see her taken down. Some offset way in some alternative world is Kendrick being taken down with her, right? Anything this girl puts out, anything she said, this girl she don't even talk about Kendrick. She don't even get in that world. But for some reason, ever since this battle started, they've been at this girl's neck worse. Damn, they're worse than Kendrick, gang. For some reason, this black woman gets worse. They talk about her worse than Kendrick. They blow her stuff up worse for some reason. So we're in a world where it's okay. These guys are the black guys that should be the first line of defense. It took all the way to Glasses Malone, gang. Like, it's a whole lot of black guys that just sat around and let this happen. It took all the way to Glasses Malone to stand on it. So then what does Adin Ross do? His industry connect. He go and call another black guy that's all about money. Let's just be honest. Wack 100 will say and do anything. He would trample on anybody's legacy out here talking crazy about Nipsey Hussle and everybody else. Wack 100 will trample on anybody if it's going to be quote unquote content. And if it's going to be a creator, he can get money with. We see Wack 100 sitting up there with Adin 22 every single day like it's nothing. Them two guys wouldn't even be in the same space if it wasn't for money. He wouldn't even speak to Adin 22 if it wasn't him getting a bag out of Adin 22. But he gets a bag with him, right? So now, so anything goes. So now Adin Ross can call Wack 100. Yo, get your boy off my back. After Adin Ross talked crazy to to Glasses Malone and to Doechii, now he want to call for somebody to help him out. This is the problem when I say is Scut Farkas is a fake bully. I hate bullies. He want to be tough on the internet. He want to talk crazy. And then when it get a little hairy, a little thick, because Glasses Malone told him in no uncertain terms, I know where you stay. I know you got things going on that you're going to do, that you're trying to make happen. Sports things and otherwise. I know where you're going to be. Stop talking about the girl. So instead of stop talking about the girl, he doubles down on the girl and Glasses Malone and then gets scared and go call Wack 100. It's all content to them, right? But I don't think he understands that Glasses, this is not content, right? And at the end of the day, this is what sometimes you got to put the scum in the bag, right? Sometimes, if it's a scumbag, you got to put the scum in the bag. And I'm not endorsing violence, but at some point, these two worlds are colliding. At some point, you're trying to push in the streamer world into the real rap world. I know you run with Drake and you think that's the rap world and everybody's down for the content. Well, the real rap world is different rules down there, gang. Different rules down here. And a lot of shit that once we stand on it, we're not backing down and we'll crash out for shit. But he don't understand that. I think he thinks that it's all because he's been getting away with a lot of shit over the past year. And a lot of people have threatened him, you're banned here and there. And he can still go, da-da-da. And he got these connects. There's a lot of people would do shit if you give him a bag, right? We saw Tekashi had the Trade 9 Bloods or whatever you want to call them. They was supporting him. They had his back until he ratted on them. So end of the day, people will have your back if you give them enough money. Now, this guy, Adin Ross, literally can buy his way into LA, buy protection and all that. But it's only but a certain amount of protection you can get until a guy's like, I'm gonna crash out, right? I don't know if you heard the story of Third Base. MC Search said that when they came to LA, MC Hammer had it out for them because they said something about Hammer's mom in the record. And they literally allegedly, right? Even we know MC Search, we gotta take Search with a grain of salt. But allegedly, they was really about to body MC Search, and they were paying for protection, this, that, and the third. And until they got the right amount of the word to say, okay, that's squash, and this is that, and the third has been settled, they was going to crash out no matter how much security. They was following them around like, yo, B, as soon as we get close enough to touch you, we're going to touch you. Doesn't matter if it's cops around, the word has been out. Once the word is out, it's different. Adin Ross is playing in the world. See, this is the thing. That girl comes from a place where she can really get stuff to happen to you, right? And I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but at some point in time, you're going to have to answer for these things that people are saying, stop saying. In the end of the day, when you think you can say these things, you really feel like nothing's going to happen to you, right? When you walk around and you really disparage a person that really has nothing to say back to you, they're really not coming at you. I get it. You can say this to the guys all day. Say this, that, and the third. I disparage people all day, this, that, and the third. Now, I don't walk around thinking nothing can happen to me either. You see what I'm saying? So the difference of it is you should be able to say what you want to say. But at the end of the day, anybody you say something about may have consequences behind it. You got to be willing to deal with that. You ain't got to call somebody, yo, can you protect me, da-da-da. What I'm saying with Adin Ross is he wants all the benefits, none of the consequences. He wants everything to be content without nothing happening in regards to his content. And this is where he messes up, because what we have is an actual code where once you cross the line, it's no coming back. And once we ask you nicely to stop doing something, we ask you nicely. And that means after that, it's no more asking. And what he doesn't understand is you're dealing with people who don't really even have to ask you nicely, right? You're coming at this girl that you do not know. You're calling her all out her names. And even when I talk about people, I really try to be respectful. I say it all the time. I'm not going to disrespect nobody, but I'm going to tell the truth. So if somebody come after me for whatever I say, I know I was telling the truth. It wasn't just, I was just calling them you a bitch, you a fucking hoe, da-da-da. It's never that. It's me talking about a situation that's happening with a person. Right? So at the end of the day, where it's a factual situation, it's part of the news cycle, and we're just having a conversation. I'm not like, yo, you're a piece of shit, you're dirty, No, it's different. When you level that kind of energy and that kind of disrespect, that's a different kind of energy, gang. And he's giving her the worst energy I've ever seen anybody give. So the problem is we are letting people talk crazy about our community, and the community itself is divided. We can't even decide that the president is good or bad. It'll be somebody in my comments and be like, yo, give Trump a third term. It'll be crazy shit because we can't decide what's good or bad for us. So this little 25-year-old white streamer calling this girl all kind of shit, somebody gonna be like, well, what did she do? It's never, we don't stand on nothing in this community, this hip-hop community, that like we used to. Right? Like I told you, some of this stuff would not fly back in the day. But right now, it's anything goes. A lot of these guys laugh at it, repost it, share it, get in the comments, be like, yeah, F that hoe. Right? Because we're in a different world and the men are built different now. The men don't care no more. They don't care that that's somebody's mom. They don't care that that's somebody's sister. They don't care that a girl going through some shit. They don't care. All they care about is the numbers and who's faking their streams. And they get more worked up about bots and shit than they do about a real person's real feelings, gang. These aren't even real people to them no more. This is just a person that they don't like. So it's like, okay, I don't like her. So yeah, call her a piece of shit. Call her this, that, and the third. It's no repercussions. Sooner or later though, as you get deeper into this shit, somebody is going to care. Somebody is going to say something. It is some real dudes that's going to stand on business at this point. At some point, I don't expect much from you niggas though, gang. I'm just going to be honest. Because some of you guys, you let this shit go so long and so far. A lot of shit that I thought was just how men are. Nowadays, you can't count on guys to be men no more. You really can't. It's like these guys are saying anything, do anything. It's just like they'll sit back and listen. They get on some Kevin Samuel shit, right? They like, listen, we don't need this. I'm a high what is called a high quality man. All this shit. They want to believe that shit, right? Which is whatever. You should believe whatever you want to believe. But end of the day, as that high quality man, you have some responsibilities. And I think these guys don't have no responsibilities to nothing. They don't care about nothing. If Adin Ross gonna get him a bag, or if he's funny or whatever, they'll let it slide. Just like we just had this, what's this guy, Andrew Schultz, whatever his name is, just talk crazy. Kendrick said, don't let no white man talk about no black woman. That's law. And this guy went and said crazy shit about K-Dot. These guys will say anything now because there's no repercussion. Nothing has happened to him. I'm not saying something should. But at the end of the day, these guys can say whatever because they know it's going to be a black guy sitting right beside him because he's getting paid with him like Charlamagne. He's going to sit right beside him and laugh and kiki, and nothing's going to happen. So we're at a place where we don't even expect you. We don't even respect you to do the right thing no more. Me personally, I could go in a room. It could be a black girl, 4 white guys, 17 black guys. Them 4 white guys could yoke that black girl up, and these 17 black guys will be like this. Well, damn, what she do? They'll pull out their phone, start recording it. So we're in a weird space, gang. It is what it is. And all I'm going to say about this, and I'm going to leave it alone, is what I'm saying with this Adin Ross thing. Adin Ross is just, honestly, I made a lot of concessions about him being in the gaming world. It's not third, but Adin Ross is at the bottom line a scumbag. This guy has no respect for anyone or anybody. It's just like Akademiks. They say anything about anybody. Akademiks led the way with this being this tumultuous shit he says about these women, and Adin Ross is following suit, but Adin Ross is doing it even worse because you're outside of the race. So at this point, we got too much history to let a guy say these things to a black woman with nobody speaking up. I don't even know if the women are speaking up, gang. It's really sad to watch this. It's like if you're a rapper that I don't like, then you can say anything about him. And this is the point where we're at a point where it doesn't matter. These guys, we're taking sides, and there is nothing to stand on. You guys are standing on if you like the guy, if he's okay, if you like his stream, then he can say and do whatever he wants. And I'm not with it. I'm just not like that, gang. I'm holding everybody accountable for all the shit they say. That's why I do these videos. And some of these other guys, they're cool with this guy, with this shit. I'm not. And all these black guys around them, you guys are you really suspect too. I'm just gonna be honest. Glasses Malone said he gonna start pressing you niggas, and he should. Right? Me, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not going to be whatever, but I am going to say some things when they need to be said. I'm not going to be going around trying to fight you and this, that, and the third. Do your thing. Live your life, because it doesn't matter if I fight you or whatever. You're still going to be a dumb asshole sitting over there shaking hands and rubbing on the back of this guy because you want the bag with him. These guys will sit there, whatever. Just like Kanye did a video called Hail Hitler and had 20, 30 black guys in the damn video saying Hail Hitler. So it's like, I can't even call it with you guys no more, gang. Kanye said Rosa Parks, this, that, and the 30, talk about slavery was a choice, and you niggas still went out and bought Yeezys. I can't even call it no more, gang. So it's like, I don't even expect y'all to do the right thing no more. I'm just going to be honest. Motherfuckers will tell me, yo, what's wrong with Yeezys? If I got to explain to you what's wrong with buying Kanye West merchandise at this point, after everything that's going down, then I'm really wasting my breath. I'm only going to talk to the people that want to hear it, gang. And I'm going to leave it at that, man. Listen, I'm out of here, man. Adin Ross, I hope y'all understand what's going on. This is all content, but really deep down, this guy feels this way. He feels this way about black women, black men. He feels a way. He's using us. You can use somebody for a payday and still don't like him. You can use a guy for a bag and still don't like the skin color. It happens every day, B. So don't get it twisted that he's streaming with Bronny and this, that, and the third. That just because this, that, and the third, oh, he did this with that guy, he put this rap on. That don't mean he liked none of them. It does not. I've seen this guy. This guy is Jewish and was going to sit down with Kanye West. This guy stands for absolutely nothing. Kanye West said, you're going to be my little, what he said, he said, you're going to be my little something. Right? It was very disparaging. He was like, yes, I'll do it. I just want the interview. This guy doesn't care about nothing. He stands for absolutely nothing. So end of the day, if this is the kind of people you want to follow, you got to check yourself. All right? I'm out of here, man. CLBMG. Head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental U.S. black-yeti.com. Every Wednesday night, we go live. Me, TJ, and Flazer will be discussing this on all my social media platforms. You can find it at 9:15. We coming back this week, gang, and we gonna have a whole lot to say. Also, we got a record called this, that, me, TJ, and Flares off of the What Project on all streaming platforms. Tap in, hit the like button on that. Watch that video. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm out of here, man. I'm going to catch you on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. With pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine.
Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw a 6-pass easily. 6-man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within. With the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin. With the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end. And then secured a spot with some goons and some kin. And then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking. And all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like past fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here and we ain't the cheese, we the trap.